There was a recent one. People were saying that his son did it.
Yeah. My mother always believed that, but again,
That's a weird conspiracy theory, though, right? Isn't
that's
that a weird
one I
one?
don't really get into.
Yeah.
I don't want. Yeah, those are the ones that are out there. I don't really get into that. I don't go near the moon. I don't go near. I'm not an OJ truther.
Are you a Gulf of Tonkin guy or Operation Northwoods?
Those are all true.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Those are all true.
Operation Northwoods is my favorite.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They talked about bombing a ship.
Yeah.
With people on it.
They were going to blow up a drone jetliner and blame it on the Cubans.
Yeah.
They were going to attack Guantanamo Bay, arm Cuban friendlies, and have them attack Guantanamo Bay.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not that long ago.
I know. That's why we need you back.
God, I can't do it.
Well, you know what?
Conspiracies are too it's too exhausting.
I got exhausting because I would do a show and then somebody would come up to me after the show and they'd be like, they'd show me a pizza menu. I swear to God. And they go, "You see that?" And I go, "No, well, what is it?" They go, "That's the NAMBLA symbol." And I'm like, it says garlic knots. And they're like, you got No, they're like, you got to really look at it.
Oh,
and I'm like, all right, I can't go the rest of my life with that.
Well, they look for it in everything. Everything's a conspiracy. And then when it comes back to you and they say, "Oh, Tim is involved in this."
Right.
Like, and then you go, "Oh, I see how this works." People just make shit up.
Yeah.
And then they believe it.
Yeah, the CIA is now getting involved in podcasting.
Yes.
With you guys. You're their first show, but they're going to get a few others on.
They're deeply involved in stand-up.
They've started a
sort
network.
of like the Russian trolls. That's what they're doing.
Deeply involved. I love the idea of the CIA going and watching sets and be like, who's getting passed at the store?
Oh, you don't know. I have a friend of mine who thinks that the CIA started Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix.
There's a book about that called Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon, written by a guy named Dave McGowan.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Joe, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to tell you, it's kind of interesting. There was a lot of cult shit going on in Laurel Canyon.
I'm sure. Probably about pussy.
There was a lot of weird shit going on. The CIA, the Rand Corp was all over there. There was a lot of shit happening.
Well, I'm sure there was a lot of shit happening, but there is not a fucking intelligence agency in the world that can create a Jimi Hendrix.
No, of course. And they're not sitting there. That book was like that they were managing the birds.
Yeah.
The CIA was like, they were like, no, it's Mr. Tambourine. It was like a CIA guy going to be like, it's Tambourine Man. Yeah. Play a song for me.
Imagine being in that time in the country when everything was just falling apart left and right around us. Vietnam War, Kent State, just fucking Nixon's the president.
Yeah.
It's just chaos left and right. There's no internet.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing drugs. It must have been wild.
It must have been amazing.
I mean, I always think about that Hunter S. Thompson quote about, like we talked about the 60s and that in the 70s, it was almost like the wave crested and then just pulled
It's crashed
back.
From Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But I'm a big, I'm a Kennedy guy. I think there's something really shady with that.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
And in that book, there's some amazing stuff about
now,
that.
this book that you gave me is Family of Secrets.
It's a guy, Russ Baker, who's a legit journalist, and it's been praised by like Dan Rather and Bill Moyers.
To drag me in, bro.
I'm trying to get you in. Let me tell you right now, this will get you in. It'll get you in.
I don't have that kind of time for
George
this.
Did you know that George H.W. Bush called the FBI and said that he thought he knew who the killer of JFK was? Did you know that?
No. He
You didn't
called
know?
them?
He called the FBI in Houston.
Hey,
and he said,
what's up? It's George.
George Bush, I'm in Tyler, Texas, and I think I know who the killer is. And he informs on this guy, James Parrott, and James Parrott ended up being like one of his staffers. It was this weird cover story he kind of planted, and that came out in a memo. And there was another memo. These are declassified FBI memos, Freedom of Information Act. There was another memo that said, after the assassination, J. Edgar Hoover briefed George Bush of the CIA. The problem was George Bush should not have been working for the CIA at that point. He should have been just a private citizen. So it suggested he was working for the agency for a very long time. And he was made the director of the agency for 1 year after the family jewels came out, which was this whole thing where the CIA went to Congress and they admitted that they had done all these things from, coups and fomenting revolutions in countries. And they made him the director for 1 year after that happened to make a clean break from all of the nefarious activities that the agency had been involved with. But if you take that memo to mean that he had an existing relationship with them, he was actually just becoming because it made no sense to anyone. They were like, why is this guy that everyone called a lightweight becoming the head of the CIA after the CIA just admitted to all these horrible things.
They called him a lightweight?
Yeah, he was like, I think Kissinger had said to Nixon, like, he's a lightweight. They made him ambassador to China. He was never a guy that had serious political capital, and he was made the head of the CIA. And then after that memo was unearthed, people were saying, oh, this was an extension of the cover-up. He was being made the director at this very interesting time in history because he actually had worked with the agency forever, and he was not at all a lightweight. He was a serious operator, and he was going in there to kind of clean up and transition them into a new era. I'm telling you.
I'm already out.
You're
already
out?
Done. Yeah.
How are you out?
I can't listen to that.
It's good. It's great, though.
I need current shit.
I know, but this
I need
is
some like Julian Assange. I need something right. I need some Edward Snowden.
I know the Bushes are done. All right,
I can't do the Bush anymore.
I'll get an Assange
it's not
book.
Enough.
I'll get an Assange book.
I can't get in there.
Listen, I'm telling you,
the Clintons. I'll dabble in the Clintons.
If you read a chapter of this,
yeah.
If you read a chapter of this,
you give me a cookie.
I don't have a cookie, and if I do, I'm taking it. But you'll be. It's very interesting, and it's a well-written book because it's not reckless and sloppy.
I'll read the first chapter. I promise.
Thank you.
I will. Yeah. Listen, a buddy of mine gave me David Lifton's Best Evidence on the Kennedy assassination.
Okay.
And that got me into conspiracy theories. This is like 92.
And I get it. You're at the end of the road now where you're like, this is... Because a lot of people are full of shit in that world.
A lot of them.
And that's what people don't realize.
Well, then it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and more preposterous. Have you ever Googled hashtag space is fake?
No, but it sounds amazing.
There is a thriving space is fake community.
Have you ever been in space?
No, good point. Could be fake.
Come back to us, Joe.
Prove it, bro.
No, what is space? Come back to us.
Well, it's an extension of flat Earth. It's like for people that think the flat Earth is not stupid enough.
Too conservative.
They go deeper. It's like it's not stupid enough.
Yeah, they think for those flat Earth cucks, they want to move into space. They want to go to space is fake.
Yeah, you want to know what's really up.
Space is fake.
Space is fake. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, I think there are hundreds of thousands of people that think that the Earth is flat. Hundreds of thousands. Educated Western American human beings that think the Earth is flat.
That is wild.
It is fucking crazy.
It's interesting.
It's a lot of people that just get educated from YouTube. The Guardian actually had an article about it. I sent it to Eddie, and Eddie laughed at me.
But see, I think Eddie's kind of rational in a lot of ways. Because I've had conspiracy talks with him.
About what?
The one that we had was insane a little.
Oh, he's got some insane ones.
Government was attacking Malibu.
Well, he's the one that
Him
came
and
up to
Tripoli
me
and
about
Sam were talking about that they were using direct energy weapons, and I was like, I don't know if this is
attacking Malibu with
That's
what?
I was like, why would they attack Malibu? Well, the
fires?
Yeah. But I'm like, they're rich. Why would they attack Malibu? It's the rich people.
The fire started near my fucking house. They didn't even start in Malibu. They flew through the air. I was one of the first evacuated.
Right.
These fucking theories are so stupid. It's dry as shit.
Yeah.
A fire hits and the winds are going crazy. Oh, did they make the wind? They made the wind.
I'm sure
They've always made the wind. The wind has always been the CIA.
They've always made the wind.
Yeah, it's just, and there's no rest. There's no peace.
I know.
There's no living in the moment. It's like a constant distraction.
Certain point, you go, I just don't even want to know. Because there's horrible things going on. There's horrible things going on.
Okay. What do you think is like the worst shit going on right now?
Human trafficking is very bad. Horrible.
And
multi-billion-dollar industry. That's not Subway sandwich artists are paying for that.
Right.
Rich people, some of them are involved in some very bad things.
Yes.
And their tracks they're covering their own tracks.
Yeah, like that Jeffrey Epstein
guy.
Yeah,
all of that stuff, dude.
That Clinton visited him and he's got an island somewhere.
Anyone with an island.
Yeah.
And hanging out with Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
If you have an island and you're hanging out with Bill Clinton, there's a problem.
Where's the Matas?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy, all of that stuff is very disturbing. He got a sweetheart deal because he wouldn't inform on anyone that was on his plane. And now the Justice Department's looking at that again. It'll probably be fine. They'll probably just let him,
With a guy like that, what... I mean, how much does he know? How does a guy
knows
like that
everything.
stay alive?
Because that's good. He's not going to say anything. He's not going to talk.
I wouldn't trust him.
If
I was on that plane.
I think that's the other thing about. See, the aversion to conspiracies is you go like, people would talk. Mm-hmm. The reality is people wouldn't talk. If you were from a prominent family, if it had been like a religion to stay silent, if you had had CIA training, these people don't talk. And we know that there have been plots that have gone unknown for a very long time, including the coup in Iran.
Sure.
So a guy like Jeffrey Epstein is so involved, so deep, he knows he'll get killed. He won't say anything.
Yeah.
He's not going to say anything.
Plus, he doesn't want to go to jail.
He doesn't want to go to jail, and he doesn't want to say anything.
Admit all the things that he did.
Yeah.
So weird. The child thing is the creepiest of all.
It's gross, and unfortunately, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So people you could talk about. There's the conspiratorial angles, the bullshit, but then there's the real fact.
Well, there's Sandusky.
Catholic Church.
100%.
That's the other problem.
Church,
the people
100%.
that are in love with conspiracies never care about private prisons or the Catholic Church. And I'm like, guys, this is not even debatable.
Right.
We're not even debating.
Right.
Private prisons are ruined. Kids are being sold into slavery.
Right. How about that judge in Pennsylvania?
It's crazy.
Taking underage kids and just giving them sentences, ridiculous sentences for shit.
That's crazy.
In exchange for money.
That's not right.
And now he's in jail. Yeah, it's there's some darkness in the world. It's undeniable. And when something like Sandusky, when that Penn State thing comes out, and you're like, wait a minute, how long was this going on for?
Yeah, and how many people knew? Everyone knew. How does everyone know?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Paterno he died quick.
But this is what of course. But
he must have been just destroyed.
But this is what I mean about people, whereas like YouTube's gonna like censor conspiracy theory type stuff. I'm like, all of those things would have been called conspiracy theories at one point.
Yes.
Catholic Church,
right.
Sandusky, Abu Ghraib. They said it was a few bad apples. It was a labyrinth of torture prisons. It was a program designed by the Pentagon, the CIA. It's crazy.
What is the YouTube gonna do? They're gonna censor.
Well, they're gonna stop recommending. I think they're gonna stop recommending conspiracy videos, from what I've heard.
But I was reading that thing that you were telling me about, Jamie. This whole like porn or child porn or pedophile network.
They're setting up what is this? A pedophile YouTube? What's going on?
Communication network. They were communicating with each other in YouTube comments.
They responded yesterday, and they said that they disabled comments on tens of millions of videos and deleted a lot of accounts that were they were communicating in the comment section of like little kids cheerleading and whatnot.
Now, were they communicating to try to share child porn, or were they communicating to molest kids?
I don't know in the way pedophiles communicate in their network, but
Jamie, quite frankly, I'd like you to do a little bit more work.
Pull up an article.
Do some due diligence on the pedophile.
I want you to go under the dark web.
I need a burner computer for that.
Download Tor and let's get moving, because we got to figure shit out.
Yeah, you got to get a VPN.
Well, that's like the FBI will take over a child porn site on Tor and then run it for a year, like on the dark web. What is that? What's going on?
Imagine what they see too.
That's a problem.
It is a problem because
that's not good.
You're causing.
That happened in that R. Kelly case. There's a video of him doing something with an underage girl, and like I think some people at CNN say we've seen it, and that's led to him going. And it's like, well, what did you watch? And is that legal? It probably is legal because you're watching under the guise of finding out if it's
rough.
Yeah, that kind of shit is real. And the fact that there's these networks of people that are trying to, cultivate these experiences.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But if you're a rich person, you have that sick predilection, you're going to find a way to...
brief thing of what they were doing, like a for example.
Okay, they posted remarks that praised the girls, asked whether they were wearing underwear or simply carried a string of sexually suggestive emojis. About 2 years ago, hundreds of companies pulled money from YouTube over concerns about ads showing up next to problematic content from terror or hate groups and videos that seem to endanger or exploit children. I think, we've talked about this before with YouTube, with the issues that we've had with them. They have way too much content and way too few people. Right. There's no way they can watch all of it. And when shit like this, or people are doing things in the comments, it's almost impossible to check.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just... The YouTube comments are one of the rare, free-range, sort of like unchecked message boards in the world.
I'm sure I'll find out later.
Fucking don't read it. Don't read it, bro.
Who's this fat fuck? He's not even a black belt.
Read it.
Why is he here? Who is that?
Don't read it.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's ever going to be a time where that is impossible, where like these child pedophile rings.
Yeah.
That they can figure out a way to snuff all that out. It's harder now than ever before, I'm imagine.
It's very tough, and it's tough, I think, because so few people want to believe that it's a problem in the way that it is.
Right.
Because there's good people in the world that don't think these things are issues.
Right.
So I think there's the political will isn't there because people aren't really, they don't understand that it's, and then the people that are doing these things are very wealthy, powerful people, and they have a lot of control, and they can kind of cover their tracks. If
They're all wealthy?
not all.
Wealthy
If
and
you're a
powerful?
poor pedophile, you're not going to a ring.
What are you doing?
You're snatching some kid.
Oof.
I know, it's bad. But if you're a rich pedophile, it's a nicer experience. It's like you go on vacation versus me going on vacation. You go on vacation, it's a nice experience. I go on vacation, it's fine.
Sandals in the Bahamas?
Not even.
No?
Sandals.
Where you going?
A cabin or something.
With a